Hey everyone, this is Chris and Sandy Bent with the Chris and Sandy Show. We get up close and personal with some amazing guests throughout the entertainment industry. And today, like I say on every episode, we got a great one for you. Who do we have?
We have the iconic Perez Hilton with us today, the original influencer who founded and oversees one of the most iconic websites out there. In addition to that, he is the host of a very successful podcast, has a loyal following across 2 YouTube channels, has written 4 books, acted in countless TV shows and films, as well as the stage. And most importantly, he's the proud father of 3 happy and thriving kids. And we're so excited to have him on our show.
Talking about that and his CBD line and much more.
Yes.
So
Thank you for having me.
Welcome.
It's our pleasure. Now, I always like to start the show out the same way because last 18 months for a lot of people has been rough, especially people in entertainment. Seemed like they got hit the hardest. So how has COVID affected you, and what have you done to maneuver through this time?
Well, COVID affected me very severely because I have 3 young children who, you know, I think more than anybody, their worlds were severely impacted.
Right.
All children in school were very impacted, but the younger, the more so, because, you know, a first grader doesn't really have the tools, the resources, the ability to do what a 16-year-old can. And I realized quickly that homeschooling was not for me. Because
that's what we do. We've been homeschooled. So
we have a 9-year-old.
Yeah, that's, you know, I don't have the patience. I don't have the skill set necessary to be a great teacher at home. I am a great teacher in other ways. I teach my children about responsibility, about values, so much about life, but the academic part of it, it's a big no. And personally, you know, I did not handle it very well. I normally am a very healthy person. But because it felt like the world was not moving forward, I felt stuck, and it felt like I was in a tunnel with no.
It almost felt like the world was ending.
It did.
Not quite, but you know, I lived in New York City when September 11th happened, and while that was a very difficult time for me, I did take some comfort and solace in seeing that the rest of the United States kept moving forward. You know, life resumed for them, even if us in Manhattan and in New York City, things were still incredibly difficult and weird. But, you know, especially in 2020, listen, we're still in the pandemic. We're not through it yet, but especially in 2020, there seems to be no end in sight. And from being a very healthy person, I became a very unhealthy person. I started to eat and eat more and overeat and even drinking a lot. I'm not even a big drinker. I'm not sober, but I don't drink that much. Normally, I'll drink maybe once every 2 or 3 months.
And you hear that story a lot.
Yeah, and I went from drinking every once every 2 to 3 months to drinking practically daily.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And at first it was fun and whatever, but then it was like, why am I even doing this? It's not fun anymore.
Yeah, because I went through 19 years of addictions until almost 14 years ago. I've been sober, so I understand the when you start getting it to where it becomes daily, it becomes a rut, and then if you don't pull out that rut soon, it becomes an addiction.
Yeah, I mean, I already have enough addictions. Thankfully, I've never had issue with alcohol or drugs, but I have maybe worse issues. Like food is my addiction, and that's a really awful thing because you need to eat to live.
True.
Yeah, because I can just quit the alcohol and don't have to be around it. But with food, you can't quit eating.
Yeah. So I would imagine, you know, like an alcoholic that might have slip-ups. I think I know what it takes to manage my food addiction and indulge and enjoy every once in a while. But then when it's like I go completely overboard and I'm just eating out of boredom or for the sake of eating and overeating, it's just that's when the real problem comes in. And then it's so hard to get back on track.
Because then you feel guilty.
Yeah, but it's not, I don't care about guilt. I care about getting back on track. And it's so hard after a slip up, after like a major slip up of days or weeks.
Oh, yes.
That's like us, when we launched this show, it was January 2020. So a couple months before COVID. And I remember our original plan was maybe 100 interviews our first year. We thought that'd be a great foundation. Then COVID happens. And as I'm watching everything get shut down, I'm like, I can't change COVID, but we need to step it up because the entertainment industry needs a place to talk, and we're going to give it to them. And because of that, we end up doing over 300 interviews last year. And this week, we're going to hit number 500.
Yes.
Wow. Amazing. Congrats.
I mean, sometimes you feel guilty because you're like, because of COVID, we are where we are.
I mean, I am thankful now that a lot of interviews are being done virtually, so it's more time efficient. Yeah.
So, as you know, what got you started in the entertainment industry? Let's go way back. What brought you in entertainment? Okay.
I started a very long time ago just as a hobby. There really was no social media when I started. And my little hobby turned into a full-time job that allowed me to employ my family and support them.
Isn't that crazy? Ain't that the American dream? That you start something not knowing where it's going to go. Like when we started this show, January 2020, it was we had a lot of contacts in Nashville. So it was an up and coming country music interview show. That was the roots of the show. But as the pandemic happened and doors started closing for other industries within entertainment, I started thinking, maybe we should open the door for entertainment in general, not just country music. And because of that, we've had some amazing guests on that we would have never imagined. Just like I'm sure like you probably look back and you're like, wow, what the heck? So tell us a few wow moments for you.
I mean, I've had so many wow moments. It's really been 17 years of living beyond my wildest dreams, from getting to be on an episode of Glee, acting, to being part of Britney Spears' circus tour, to being in Rihanna's S&M music video, to releasing 4 books, starting a podcast many years ago, being a judge on Miss Universe that's seen all over the world.
Wow.
Acting.
We actually had the first runner-up of this past Miss USA on our show the other day.
Oh, cool.
So that was a pretty cool one. When you said Miss Universe, it made me think of that because she was one step away. If Miss USA would have won Miss Universe, she had became Miss USA.
So yeah, I mean, I've done it all, which is why going forward, the thing that matters to me most isn't fame; it's just money. Let's be real.
You want to secure the bag.
I need more money.
And you want to secure the bag.
Exactly. I want FU money in the bank, which I don't have right now. I would love to just have that freedom to only do whatever I wanted to and not do things because I feel like I need to or I should. Like, how would my life be different? What choices would I be making or not making?
Yeah, because especially when you got inflation going up, prices of everything going up, and nobody really knows where we're heading in the next 5 years, and then it's like, over the last 20 years, you literally see middle class being pushed out. So the day's going to come when you're going to have rich and you're going to have poor, and that's going to be it. So if you're not in that rich class, you're going to be poor.
I mean, I always think too that life is so unexpected and we all have the ability to create something amazing. I am really proud that I come from a family of 2 immigrants who came to this country with nothing and instilled in me an incredible work ethic and the importance of an education. And I didn't ride my parents' coattails. They never gave me any handouts. I created everything on my own. And with my children, it'll be the same, like I will support them through college.
Yep.
Then I will buy them a car. Right? If they don't have a car, I will, pay maybe for 6 months of their rent, but only 6 months. And I think in 6 months' time, you should be able to figure out a job. In 6 months' time or less, you should really start figuring out what you're going to do before you even graduate college.
Yeah, because And I remember, I wish I could remember the celebrity, but I remember recently there was a celebrity that talked about, and he got flack for this, that he, that when his kids come, I want you to invest in my business idea. He says, well, come up with a business plan. He says, if it's not a fantastic business plan, I'm not investing.
I'm not even going to invest, even if it was a fantastic business plan. I know too much about business, and I know that most new businesses flop.
Yep.
Unfortunately. So I don't want to gamble with my money. I'm going to Vegas soon for 2 weeks because we love it there, and I don't gamble. I go to Vegas for the shows, to eat at the good restaurants because I love it there. There's so much to do that's actually very family friendly, but I work too hard to gamble.
Wow. Now, as you know, a lot of people, they see the glory in what you do, the glory in what the celebrities do, but they don't see the grind, the sacrifice, the tears, the struggles it takes to get to high levels. And I always want to talk about that because I think sometimes this is kind of a sugar-coated thing where people think, oh, I got the talent, I can make it. But we both know that that's not true within the world. I mean, it's from timing to lucky connections to yes, a lot of work. So take a few moments to tell us a little bit about the sacrifices and struggles you've had to go through to get to where you are even today.
I mean, I still make those sacrifices. I know that 99% of people would not be willing to work as hard as I do. Part of me my life is blessed. I'm so grateful, but I work really hard to maintain, not even all the hard work that it took to achieve it all.
Yeah.
I tell people, you want to know the secret to success? You have to have an unhealthy work ethic. Like everything else must come second. Mm-hmm. Work needs to be number one. Once you've achieved success, then you can have more balance and make other things a priority. Like my children are a huge priority in my life, but I still don't get enough sleep. I still am not as social as I would like to be with my friends, but we do what we have to do.
You got to eat, sleep, and think that project, that passion, that whatever you are pursuing. Because we get that with this show. It's like, we're trying to become a Bobby Bones, a Ty Bentley, a Kelly Clarkson show one day. And it's like, with no backing, no nothing. All grassroots, and it's like, man, I'm glad at this point, I didn't know when we started the amount of work this would take.
Yeah,
because I probably would have never launched. But now that we have and we're where we're at, we're like, okay, we've done more than I ever imagined already. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's all that it takes, really. You got to be consistent and work hard.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about your projects, your CBD line and your podcast.
Yes.
Thank you.
About that.
Yeah. I this year launched a CBD brand called MyTru10.
Oh, wow.
Because, well, first of all, CBD has not been around that long,
That's true.
A handful or so of years. And I had never really taken it. I had never taken it before prior to 2020.
Oh, wow.
And my first experience wasn't a positive one because I took the oils and I don't like CBD oil. Some people might like them. It wasn't for me. I've tried all of these different products. And last year, when I tried these CBD gummies that really worked, I was so taken aback that I reached out to my manager and I said, we need to do something with these people because CBD is not regulated by the FDA.
Mhm.
So not all CBD is created equal.
Exactly.
You could have some that's really good, and then you can have some that it's like not, I was going to use the C word, CRAP. You could have some that's CRAP, and filled with who knows what, and just not quality. So thankfully, MyTru10 is quality. I take it daily. It's helping so many people.
Wow.
And you can check out our reviews at MyTru10.com. That's the best way to really learn about a product, I say, is to see what the people that bought it have been saying about it. And we use a third-party provider that verifies that all of our reviews are legit. People that actually bought our gummies. So go to MyTru10.com and check us out.
Wow. So tell us a bit about your podcast. What's it about?
My podcast is a pop culture podcast. I've been doing it for 6.5 years now, almost.
So you were on the front end of podcasting.
Yes.
Yeah, a very, very long time. And we have a very loyal audience that we're so grateful for. It's, I think, the best pop culture podcast, but we are different from yours. We don't do any interviews. We don't have guests. I don't want guests. Having guests is a headache. People cancel, flake at the last minute, reschedule. They're running late. Whatever.
I could write a book on all that. What you just said.
We have all those stories.
Yeah. So I don't want to have to deal with that. I want my podcast to be fun, because I think if you're having fun, the audience will tell. And thankfully, my podcast co-host keeps it fun for me, because we're polar opposites, right? Oftentimes, when you have podcast co-hosts, it's people with shared common interests, and they just agree on everything. My co-host and I barely agree on anything. He's a straight dude who's like a little bit older than me, from West Virginia, and I'm big gay, but we genuinely respect each other and care for each other. So it makes for compelling entertainment. I think it's the Perez Hilton podcast with Chris Booker. You can check us out on YouTube or directly at perezpodcast.com.
I love that.
Awesome.
Now, being in the celebrity world, and it's probably not much surprises you anymore because you've been in it for so long. What surprised you in the last 10 years or so the most, or at least one of the top that surprised you? And it could be good, could be bad. It could be either.
I would say what surprised me, if we're going back 10 years, is the A-list status that Kim Kardashian has been able to achieve, and everything that she and her family have built.
Well, they have built a brand.
They built an empire there.
Back in 2011, they were at the lowest of their low, actually.
Oh, wow.
2011 was right after Kim Kardashian had her 2 or 3 month marriage. People were not liking her or her family. It was a real down moment for them. And what I actually attribute to their success is Kanye West. Kanye West,
go figure, right?
Yes.
He really turned everything around for her and for that family, and elevated all of them. Kanye gave her a complete makeover, put her together with a new team.
Oh, wow.
She used to not get lent clothes from the high-end fashion designers. She was not, she was persona non grata. Now she's at all the fashion shows, invited and co-hosting the Met Gala, on the cover of Vogue magazine. Kanye made her sort of like his Beyonce, and together they also elevated each other. Now, 10 years later, Kim is a bigger celebrity almost than Kanye, and making more money.
I mean, imagine if they could have been that power couple.
They were for a long time,
they were for a while.
If that, because that's definitely interesting. But yeah, you're right on a lot of that. That's definitely a turnaround. I didn't know the insides of some of that, so that's pretty cool to know.
Yeah.
So as you know, a lot of people, they see you and they see the actors and actresses and all that, but they don't see the teams behind the people. In our opinion, teams never get the love they deserve. And I don't care if a person has a team of 1 or a team of 300, like Justin Bieber says he has. A team is a team. So take a few moments to tell us about the team that helps you be who you are.
Well, my team basically is my sister, who is my COO.
Oh, wow.
She makes sure that everything runs smoothly, and I'm not very tech savvy, so she handles all of the business side of things.
Okay.
And then my mother also works for me. I pay her, and she's my professional mother. So she does mom-like things that are a big help, that take time. She'll go and she'll pick up my mail at the PO box. She'll drop off something here. She'll, if I have an issue at my house, she works as she's not my handyman, but she'll research and find somebody to come and fix the sink or the toilet or whatever it might be. So my team is my mom and my sister. And, they're family, and I trust them implicitly, explicitly. And, there was definitely some trepidation before I decided to hire them, especially with my sister. I'm like, are we going to be fighting all the time? Is this going to be a disaster?
Yeah, because we're a husband and wife team. So.
Yeah, we're kind of a family team also.
Yeah, but thankfully everything worked out very well. And we've been working together now since 2007.
Wow. Oh, that's great.
Speaking of teams and family, we have a third co-host, our 9-year-old, that asked a couple questions. So Sandy's going to go get him real quick. And we've got an almost 3-year-old that when she gets older, she'll be plugged into the show too, because we are a family affair show.
I love it.
I can't imagine doing it. When we launched last year, I remember saying, you know what, we're going to find a way to combine our family. And you know what, down the road, if he doesn't want to be a part of it, I'm not going to be one of them parents. Oh, you got to be dude. No, he's his own person. I hate that when you hear people who have kids that want to go in entertainment and the parents are like, oh, no. And they're like, let them have their passion. Let them get it through their system, because they might not even enjoy it. Let at least get it through. And then again, they might be the next Brad Pitt.
Yeah, I'll support my children, whatever they want to do. They just have to do it on their own. And also, they can't be lazy. That's what I tell them. They have to have an incredible work ethic, and they will.
All right.
Hi, Perez. So what's your favorite TV show?
Here's a confession. I don't watch any television.
Oh, wow.
I don't have time. I barely sleep. I don't even get enough sleep. Whatever my kids are watching, my kids actually, it's interesting. As they get older, they start watching different things. So my oldest is almost 9 now. He turns 9 next month, or not next month, in February. And then my middle child is 6.5. And they've recently started to watch a lot of Disney Channel shows, which they never used to watch, like old Disney Channel shows. Like they've been watching Hannah Montana and Wizards of Waverly Place.
Oh, wow.
Okay, whatever makes you happy.
Because what's yours?
My SpongeBob.
They don't. Is that on Netflix? I don't even know. They don't watch SpongeBob.
Nickelodeon.
I know it's on Nickelodeon, but where does it stream? Maybe it's on Paramount Plus only, and we don't have that.
Paramount Plus.
Yep, Paramount Plus.
Yeah, we don't have that. That's why they don't watch it. I'm cheap. I already pay for Netflix. I wasn't even going to get Disney Plus, but my sister's like, I'll let you use my account. Shh, don't tell anybody.
Yeah, because he watches a lot of the Nickelodeon and Disney shows, we've been able to bring on people like Ava Kokler and Mallory James Mahoney from the Disney shows and all that onto the show for him to talk to. So that's been pretty cool for him.
Oh, wonderful. Exciting.
Yes. So what's your favorite movie?
Oh, goodness. I'd have to tell your parents when you leave. But I do have a favorite movie.
What is yours?
Oh, mine's Minions.
I'll tell you my favorite movie. You just can't watch it. It's this movie starring Elizabeth Berkley and Gina Gershon called Showgirls.
Ooh. Yeah,
And
you
I
can't
love
love
it. And I love it, not ironically. Like, I legitimately, truly, deeply love Showgirls. It's my
Oh, wow.
favorite movie.
Bye, thanks.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, he loves to be on the show, and he's been on almost every episode, almost 500. In fact, I think Thursday will be our 500th interview, so it's been interesting, and all that. But having him on has been really great, and we've watched him grow in that role because he wants his own podcast next year. So we're going to help him do that.
Make it happen.
Up with that. So, what are some sources of inspiration for you?
Music always inspires me to feel more than anything, not like literal inspiration to like do something, but it inspires feelings of celebration, empathy. I just love music is the first thing that came to mind. That's what inspires me. And of course the live experience, going to concerts, going to plays and musicals, going to a museum. Like I love doing and experiencing and interpreting and sharing and talking, and even like a hike. Nature inspires me, all of those things that we have to leave our house to do.
So what would you like your legacy to be in the entertainment industry? What would you like to be most known and remembered for?
I would love it if I was the first person on the Hollywood Walk of Fame to get a star for being an influencer.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah. They don't give out stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame for being an influencer, but I've been able to use my career as an influencer to go out and publish books, act in TV shows, act in movies, do my podcast, do radio, do reality television, do all sorts of different things. So I think, times change and things evolve, and the Hollywood Walk of Fame should start giving stars to influencers. And
that's true.
We agree.
Because times have changed.
Yes, they have. You've got to
include that. Social media is everything.
It is. Yes. And if you could say anything to your fans and followers, what would you want to tell them?
I don't use the word fans. I use the word fram, F-R-A-M, because the people that support me, they are like family to me. Meaning two things.
It does.
Two things, some friends may come and some friends may go, but I'm of the school of thought that family is forever.
Yep.
And also, if you view it like family, I have family, and I don't always agree with everything that family says or does. Yeah. But at the end of the day, they're still family, and you still love your family.
Absolutely.
I love that. So, as we start to come to a close here, what advice would you give somebody who feels called to the entertainment industry, who's kind of get their feet wet a little bit? They may be playing a few shows and all that so far, but they just know that this is what they're supposed to do. Being around the industry like you have for as many years as you have, what advice would you give that person?
My advice would be, networking is very important, and you don't need to be in Los Angeles or New York to network.
Especially now.
Yeah. So don't be afraid to ask for things. Like even with me, like a lot of my opportunities, I've gotten them myself without an agent or a manager.
I went and asked for you to come on, see?
Yeah. Network. Don't be afraid to ask for things, and just do it. Don't wait. Don't keep waiting. Don't procrastinate. Don't make up excuses. And finally, create, do it. Like if you're not getting booked on a TV show or a play or whatever, then make your own TV show, make your own play, put it online, just do it. Create your own content. Those are the people that are rewarded the most. The ones that are true auteurs, that are singer-songwriters, that are actor-writers. If you have the ability, the drive to create your own content, then it's going to be a lot easier for you.
I love that.
Love that.
So to honor our 30 minutes that we were given with you, tell everybody how they can find you, which of course they already know that, and how to find your podcast and all that.
Well, you can check out my CBD brand at MyTru10.com. You can listen to my podcast at PerezPodcast.com or watch it on YouTube. Of course, read PerezHilton.com daily. And I'm literally on every social media platform. So just search for me and I will be there.
And, we really enjoyed having you on the show today. And we definitely look forward to having you back for some updates down the road.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Same here. We enjoyed it. Thanks so much for your time today.
Have a good